Princess, I've always been the one.
Oh, barf. Who talks like that? Is that from that creepy medieval romance you were reading last week?
That is the emotional apex, if one can call it that, of That Boy by Jillian Dodd. A book ostensibly about, well, what is it about? Your notes suggested it was akin to a gladiatorial contest involving sentimentality.
It's about a girl, JJ, stuck between two mega hot neighbor dudes, Danny and Phillip, for like her entire life. It's basically the Hunger Games, but instead of death, the prize is, well, one of the dudes. And the arena is suburbia. And it takes 12 years.
12 years. An entire adolescence and early adulthood spent in a state of baffling indecision. The author Dodd apparently expects us to believe this protracted dithering constitutes a compelling narrative arc. It's less an arc, more a flat line of romantic ineptitude.
Hey, don't knock JJ. She's just figuring things out. Like when she says, college is so awesome. It's really too bad they try to ruin it with classes. That's relatable content right there.
Relatable. That is the mantra of the terminally unambitious. This protagonist, Jaden James, is less a character and more a collection of adolescent cliches masquerading as personality. Reviewers called her monumentally clueless, dense, an overgrown child. I'd diagnose a severe case of arrested development, possibly complicated by an allergy to common sense.
She's not clueless. She's selectively aware. And who wouldn't be confused? You've got Danny, the hot, seductive quarterback. Total adventure vibes. He's the guy you sneak out to meet.
The adventurer, who, according to distressed readers, gets engaged to another woman practically moments after an emotionally charged encounter with JJ. That sounds less like adventure and more like predictable cad behavior. Honestly, your affinity for these unstable, brooding types is consistent. Heathcliff? Anyone?
Don't you bring Heathcliff into this. Danny's got charisma. Unlike Phillip, mister. I'll just wait patiently for 12 years while you date everyone else. Snoozeville. Although, okay, that princess, I've always been the one. Line is kind of hot in a creepy, stalkerish way.
Phillip represents stability, loyalty, the quiet strength of enduring affection. He's the bedrock upon which a lasting relationship could theoretically be built, if the protagonist wasn't pathologically incapable of recognizing it. He's the Darcy to her. Well, she lacks the requisite depth to be an Elizabeth Bennet. She's more of a Lydia Bennet, perhaps, easily distracted by shiny objects, or quarterbacks.
Okay, first off, comparing anyone in this book to Jane Austen is an insult to Jane Austen. Second, Jay dates other people. The guys date other people. The book claims there's no drama, no jealousy. Bull hockey. My neighbor borrowed my hedge trimmer 3 months ago, and I still glare at his prize-winning petunias. You're telling me these three lived in each other's pockets for 12 years with zero drama? Get out of here.
Precisely. The premise itself strains credulity. It's a sanitized fantasy that ignores the fundamental realities of human emotion. Which brings us to the crux of the matter. Is this book, despite its structural peculiarities and questionable character psychology, actually any good?
Depends who you ask. The internet is literally at war over this. Team Danny versus Team Phillip. People lose their minds over who she picks. One reviewer said she read it from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. straight. Another one wanted to buy Phillip. Like add him to her Amazon cart.
Good heavens, the commodification of fictional love interests. A truly bleak commentary. And yet, others despised it. One reviewer compared its narrative structure or lack thereof to Doraemon, the Japanese cartoon cat.
Yeah. And someone else rage quit at 29% because JJ made out with Danny while he supposedly had a girlfriend. Scandal. See. Not boring. And don't forget Danny getting engaged. What was that?
Clumsy plot device, clearly. Designed to inject last-minute tension or perhaps demonstrate Danny's inherent unsuitability. Or maybe the author just panicked? It lacks finesse.
Finesse? Who needs finesse when you've got readers bawling like babies? Or grinning like idiots? Some listeners think JJ didn't deserve his hotness, while others think JJ should have figured it out by age 15.
The bifurcation of the readership is notable. It speaks to the power of the archetypes, however crudely drawn. The charming rogue versus the steadfast friend, a tale as old as time, or at least as old as young adult fiction.
You know what? Thinking about it, maybe Phillip is the hotter one. That quiet, intense thing, always being there, it's kind of possessive. In a good way, maybe Danny was just too obvious. Phillip's got that slow burn, Like Heathcliff?
You cannot be serious. You're changing allegiance mid-broadcast based on a fleeting whim. Phillip is nothing like that. That Bronovan brute, he's nice.
Nice guys can be intense. Anyway, time for the rating. What's our system today?
Given the protagonist's defining characteristic, let's rate that boy on the number of times you wanted to gently shake JJ until her brain rebooted. I awarded a restrained 3 out of 10 shakes. The prose was functional, if repetitive.
Weak? I give it 8 shakes. Because sometimes you gotta shake things up to realize what's right in front of you. It took her 12 years, people. 8 shakes. Almost as many times as I wanted to shake Kathy for ditching Heathcliff. All right, lovebirds. That's all the time we have. Next week, we're diving into, wait for it, my billionaire Bigfoot lover, a tale of cryptid capitalism. You won't want to miss it.
I assure you, I will try. Until then, this has been Heartbook Radio.
Keep it locked. Or don't, whatever.